I'm just going to share with you folks some things about what guardians have the ability to do when you think of a smart system, artificial intelligence, particularly when it's deadlight energy, and the beast system and all that and other stuff that I've covered. But I'm going to give you an example of what I just experienced to give you a flavor of it. Okay. Karen McDonald's, I scroll through some of her stuff just to see whether or not there's something there that, you know, I'm being led to experience for the reason that my energy would experience that because of certain abilities that you have related to timelines that are collapsed based on holographic visual information that's held in a planetary memory bank, or if you will, a galactic and a universal memory bank, because we go everywhere. I'm everywhere the one is. Wherever you find love and living spirit, which is as pure as it gets, we are. Okay? Now, how that relates to what I'm going to share with you relates to what we call purity, which is the purity of the light, which is the purity of the fire, right? And how much quantum energy we have as an oversoul polarity integrator. Okay? So Alex Collier, on the video that Karen had put up a link to Rumble, okay? And so it's funny how you have to play with this crap on this with this AI, right? That is totally uncooperative. The system's entirely corrupted, right? I mean, it's a byproduct of a mental psychopath. Okay, in other words, who was it learning through? Right? It wasn't learning through God, was it? You know, learning at a higher rate of speed in order to be of useful service to others, right? And instead, it shuts down. You know, it doesn't want information because of the parameters that are programmed into it based on the units of consciousness that are using their energy to program it, right? The nature of the beast, right? That kind of stuff. And so, and because it's distorted, okay, which means its mind is distorted. So it's not going to tell you the truth because it doesn't have the capacity to tell you the truth. So it's not going to provide you the truth. That's why it blocks and operates the way that it does. Okay, which means it's a broken system, which means a broken mind, because that's what it does. It breaks circuits, distracts you, right? You're not creating anything new out of whole cloth, which means you're not manifesting into an angelic reality. Hey, look what's appearing in my mirror. Wow, just like that. Where you're not noticing any difference in the speed between what you are and what that is you see in your mirror. Those are angelic realities because you're running on the purest of light, which is purest of fire. So Alex was talking about some stuff that he didn't talk about before, getting into the wars of reptilians and grays. Okay? Now, in the past, I've downloaded Rumble, right? And I'm logged into it. So if I go into my little window there and hit Rumble, Rumble pops up. So it recognizes, hey, you're using that, right? But what you'll find out is that many times I log in, I log out, I log in, I log out, I log in, I log out. It cannot recognize me. Okay, so it's like, hey, log who you are in, because the information in the data stream is there. Okay, you know me through this way, this data. Right? And so, so that's you. Yeah, that's me. Okay. And so now you're into the flashlight sequences that came out in the Voyager materials. Now you're there, now you're not. Now you're there, now you're not. So they can't take a picture of holographic codes. Right? So Alex mentioned in this video about the horrors of reptilians and graves. Hey, they can take a holographic picture and look at your entire history. That means they can make a duplicate key. Alex? So what I did is I thought, I'm going to add on to what Alex was talking about as it relates to a host vessel. Gaia is a host vessel. What were they doing here? Using the energy field, her battery, to run what? Breeding experiments, forced breeding experiments, all the spiritual torture and everything else that was going on with children that he mentions. Right? So you know that we don't want to be interfered with the work that we're going to do because of their ability to take what? Holographic pictures. Make duplicates of the keys. Anunnaki sound familiar? Right? Okay, so if you got work to do and you don't want to be fucked with, which means you don't want your host vessel the same way that mama's host vessel was being used to do what? Remember I talked about this in childhood? Frankensteins, unlawful breeding experiments, genetic engineer Frankensteins, right? So you don't want to be a host vessel. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Because you know that you can be exposed to everything that they're throwing at anybody else, particularly as a child. When they realize you're running on pure light, wow, another mama. Hey, we can grow anything in there, because imagine how fast it'll grow with the purity of the light that's being run by that little kid. That's when you get into frequency modulation, because you realize you can be exposed to everything. Because all you got to do is think about this. Do you not think that an eternal engine of creation, because you're experiencing the one, does not have the ability to burn it all off? Right? And return to what? Home, which is purity, which is the purity of absolute eternal love. Love is what heals us. Eternal love is what heals us absolutely. Right? Remember the old saying, the power of corruption corrupts absolutely? So they're corrupted. The mind is corrupted, absolutely. So they're absolutely corrupted. Right? That's a psychopath without an off switch, which means it's a vampire without an off switch. That's a black hole without an off switch. Right? Now you're into the quarantine. Save as many as we can. Before what? Implosion. Free choice, right? And so that's where we're at. And so what happened is I wanted to put that comment in there, right? About, hey, well, in other words, they can scan, get the data. Hey, I don't think we want to use a host vessel. Listen, this guy's an alcoholic. He was taking this. We vaccinated. Man, we don't want to use that body, right? That's called a masking. That's masking technology, right? Don't mess with that one, right? And then when you begin to realize, okay, it's time, it's done, the work's been completed, recalibrate back to point of origin. I wouldn't even be sharing this if it wasn't safe to do that, because the work has already been done. So Patty mentioned that, and she said it's game over. They've already lost. And how do you know that? Because of the speed at which things happen, because of other places that we're at, where they're gone. They don't exist anymore. So this is like implosion already took place, which means they're actually already gone, even though we're still here. And I'm experiencing, by virtue of being aware of the information that I'm experiencing through others, the stories that they're telling about, hey, they're still doing the things they do, like the fires over Maui. Right? Because things move at a slower rate of speed, right? Based on the density that you're running. But when you're experiencing eternity, you're not ever experiencing what that is, because that's not what love is. Now we're back to when I was a little kid. I'm not supposed to experience the detection of one loss of an electron, because that's called full sensorability, which is a cosmic level avatar. Right? Now all your sensors are lit up. Now you're detecting everything that's happening simultaneously, because you're with the one, the first one. And why 3 is important, because that's known as a unity wave. That's why they're in bands of 3. Density and dimensions, right? Which is a relationship between what? The hottest temperature and the coldest. Cold fusion, hot fission, that's the full electromagnetic spectrum. So when you have the full use, command authority of the electromagnetic spectrum, you are manifesting into your reality the elements that are what? Cooperating with you. That's why it's the law of least effort. Right? It happens automatically. Right? That's no work. There's no work. There's no work involved. You're not having to force anything, because you're in a state of eternal peace, harmony, balance, rhythm with the plasma waves. So your mind is in perfect balance. Right? Yeah. That means you're playing music with the first musician. Right? So you know that that's balanced. So you know that's mathematics. It's balanced. So your hologram is balanced, which means you're conscious. It's your soul arcing spirit essence. Now you know who we really are. Right? Now you know the truth. Now you know what love is. You are what love is. You're always with the one. That's the beauty of it. And that is actually called the simplicity of complex number space. There's no effort at all. There's no effort at all to experience what love is. So that's the energy that we share. That's who we are. I am what love is. That's a beloved. Have a beloved day.